Alrighty, I do want to just document as a matter of principle. I've been establishing this as a matter of evidence for years. This is the fake sun that is over me in the same position that I was standing during the 3 p.m. hour at San Bernardino County. This is 2940 Inland Empire Boulevard. And it doesn't get any clearer than that. This is exactly what I'm going to refer to. First of all, this is the entity that's engaging in this from every city. So whether they have an airport like Ontario does, this has nothing to do with the airport. This is that they are crossing paths in the sky space while I'm using my device. The entity that's doing so while they are stalking in the path. This is what the entity is doing with commercial planes as well. But nonetheless, the entity is engaging in this in every city. There is no corner where the entity is not engaged in surveillance. And I've shown you the template for how surveillance is executed. Now, what I'm going to document right now, I just want to be clear, what the entity just did right now is exposing San Bernardino County. Not only is the documentation of the fake sun that's still here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the entity is engaged in terrorism, stalking in a plane, and it is stalking under the fake sun. And everybody inside of the venue of San Bernardino County is engaged in criminal monitoring. And San Bernardino County is also the one that the Ontario Police Department is necessarily relying on in their failure to criminally defame me, and is in fact showing that the mentally ill are cloaking themselves as medical professionals within San Bernardino County, the behavioral health. Many of them are going to be diagnosed, and they're also going to prison for criminal activity that shows that they're mentally ill, psychopathic to be specific. It's also the same with the entity that I'm going to refer to right now. While the entity is engaged in stalking just like this, 90SJ 840, the Ontario Police Department that have engaged in what is stalking the person and that's who I am. I am literally the federal government. I am prosecuting. I'm laying down the law. I'm letting them know what rules you violate and what are the repercussions. This is Satan. Understand, this is the personality of Satan that is sitting there being told their rights and then laughing. And I just want you to be clear. This is, I just want to make sure that this is understood. The police that are engaging in criminal monitoring, these are terrorists. And the terrorists have, in my face, have been documented what is acting in refusal to comply. And so the entity is engaged in stalking, just like they were at the Hope Boulevard car wash. You're criminally monitoring, and in the same way that the federal government would contend with any enemy, understand that every single demon that I've documented, and that's what they are. They're terrorists who are demon-possessed, and that's not a secret either. But the bare-bones policy, in order to teach all the rest of the terrorists in this country, Ontario Police and every other department that I documented stalking, every single last one of them are going to prison. All right, and this is the policy. I've been documenting them by license plate. I've been documenting the agencies targeting me. I've been documenting them, and then seconds later, they cross path in the face, because this is stalking, conspicuous stalking, and it's terrorism. When they have the police vehicle indicated, they're going to prison. I read their license plate, and the entity is going, I want to be clear, they are going to produce their own identity, because when they're in front of court and they're going to be deciding whose identity it was, because a body's going to prison for it. And the entity has done that while they've been laughing in the face of the federal government that's telling them about what's going to happen to them, while this system is no longer a secret and it's not capable, it's not permitted to continue anymore. The entity is engaged in what is stalking. That's in Ontario, it's the Ontario Police Department. In Fontana, it's the Fontana Police Department. And the entity is engaged in that. And to teach a lesson, because the rest of you that are witnessing this is what's going to happen. The entity that's terrorists, they're cloaking themselves as police officers and police departments, they're not. And they're going to prison. Literally by virtue of crossing paths, because that's how stalking is executed by the population. And that includes the terrorists, who are then exploiting what is authority of an actual police officer, engaging in what is exercising authority under the laws, under the penal code, under the traffic code, the civil code, municipal code, etc. In order, generally speaking, the executions of the duties of an officer, and they're not doing any of that. Okay, while I've documented them, they're going to prison, and the reason why they're going to prison is not only because of the criminal conduct, but it is for the benefit of the U.S. and the rest of this country. All right, while the U.S. has betrayed this country and permitted those outside of the jurisdiction of the U.S. to keep us under surveillance, to terrorize us, to violate us, they're going to watch the terrorists, who are the Ontario Police Department, every one of them going to prison. They're going to witness that ongoing prosecution while the entity is engaged in targeting and mocking as though there is no consequence. And you're going to watch the very severe consequences as a lesson to everyone else, because that's what's going to happen. A large percentage of that department is going to federal prison based on their mentally ill conduct. They're accustomed to getting away with that which is corrupt. They've been murdering people and kidnapping them for a very long time. They've been abusing positions, and that's also relevant to why they are engaging in this stalking conduct in the face of someone that is letting them know, oh, and I get it, because you're wearing a police uniform and that makes you feel superior, and then you're looking at me, who was not only sleeping outside, but I'm doing it on the internet. And you can mistake that for someone that doesn't have any authority, but I have all authority, and they are going to prison, every single last one. And I want to make sure that I publish this because this is the policy and this is relevant and what's necessary with regard to prosecuting domestic terrorism, which is very real in California and in this country. The entity is accustomed to terrorizing American citizens, but not calling it terrorism, not recognizing it terrorism, not acknowledging it as terrorism, and it is terrorism in the U.S. amongst those that are enemies of the state under the definitions, under the clarification of what's going on. They're engaging in terrorism, and you're going to prison for it. They're going to federal prison, every single last one of them that are stalking, just like what you saw at the whole Boulevard Car Wash, just like that. The demons that are terrorizing, engaging in that by doing so as police departments and police officers, they are going to federal prison. And this is relevant to a very specific policy with regard to the first time ever prosecuting domestic terrorism in the U.S. This is essentially a 2026 New World Civil War, if you will. Okay, but there is nothing new under the sun, and this isn't even the natural environment. The demons that are gang stalking under the fake sun, cloaking themselves as police officers, are going to federal prison, and that is a clear-cut, mandated policy. And they're going to federal prison also because they engaged in mocking what are the rules of war. Okay, and because they did that, everyone has to witness the fact that they are going to federal prison, and I mean every single last one of them. P.O.C.